Devi Di. She will start the session. And again, let me welcome Toastmaster Devi Di. He is the renowned Toastmaster in District 41 fraternity, very veteran Toastmaster, champion of Division E in evolution contest, an author whose book story has been uh, selected in BRs, the Jenny Stone, and today she's taking the master class on basics of creative writing. So, Toastmaster Devi, please go ahead and share your experience and how we can be a better
Yeah.
creative writer. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen first. Yeah. Hope the screen is visible to everybody. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So I cordially welcome you all to this masterclass on creative writing. That is the basics of creative writing. Myself, Devi, and I write with the pen name Writer's Joy. So as far as my author bio goes, most of the thing Rahul has explained, but again, I'll just tell that I am a content writer and marketer by profession. And I basically write short stories, poems, quotes, and blogs. So you can see on the screen, this is my recent publication. That story name is Animals in the Third World War, which was published in the book by Ginny Stone. That is 3 hours, and the Amazon link is given here. And I also have my website. So the link is given here. All my works I publish on this website. Now coming to the agenda of this masterclass, we will be looking into what is creative writing, how do we distinguish between creative writing and content writing, and then we'll come to the basic crafts of creative writing. Now coming to what is creative writing. So creative writing, basically it involves the use of creative and imaginative language to put forth your ideas. So the emphasis is on bringing your 5 senses to write. What do I mean by bringing the 5 senses to light? We have 5 senses, that is hearing, seeing, smell, taste, and touch. So through your writing, you are creating a visual imagery for the audience. So that is your imagination and your creativity. You are putting all these 5 senses to light. So how do we do that? We'll see in the coming slides. So before going into the basic crafts of creative writing, let us know what is the difference between creative writing and content writing. I always get this question when I say that I'm a content writer. Then they ask, what is the difference between creative writer and a content writer? So first, creative writing is all about your imagination and creativity. You write a story, it doesn't come with any foundation. You are under full control of how you want to start the story, how you want to end the story, how do you want to go with the body part. But when it comes to content writing, it's from a business perspective. A company wants you to write a blog on its product or a content on the website. There are set standards, set content to be put. You cannot put anything and everything under out of your imagination. You have to go with the set standards and protocols. That's why it's called more a professional form of writing, content writing. When you come to creative writing, it's all mostly personal. You either write your story, either write a blog out of your own experience, either you pen down a poem which doesn't have much rules or foundations. You write even a one liner or a quote. But content writing, as I said, is more professional and more business with set parameters. There would be keywords given that you have to comply with these keywords. This should be the ideal beginning. This is how you have to transition. This is mainly the language will be oriented to attract the customers or to write a product description that really clicks. That is why content writing is called an objective way of writing, while creative writing is subjective. So if you take a story, different person have different perspectives on a story, and he or she will write it from a different perspective. Whereas content writing, the same topic, the different persons have to follow the same guideline. So it's more objective in nature, which is followed in business of uh, perspectives, while creative writing is more subjective and more personal in nature. So this is a brief um, differences between creative writing and content writing. Now that we have understood what is creative writing and content writing, let us more delve into the crafts of creative writing. What exactly constitutes a creative writing? So these are the basic outlines of the creative writing. One, you have a story and a theme associated with it. You have a plot, have a proper setting, you have characters and dialogues, have narration, description, have language and a vocabulary involved. Then comes the proper structuring. You have the proper opening, body and conclusion. A bit of drama, suspense is involved. Grammar, punctuation is an important part. Writing devices come into picture. Then there is a concrete message, or there could not be a message as well. And there are emotions involved. So each of these crafts we will look up in detail now. Each and every craft, let us see in detail. Number one, story and theme. So what exactly are the stories? Stories are nothing but narrative account of the sequence of events. So each story is associated with a theme. You either write on a social issue, like it could be a story on domestic violence, or it could be a story on dowry or education. It could also be your experience you're sharing. Probably you have traveled somewhere, you are writing a travel writing you're going ahead with. Or your experience, probably after this quarantine period, maybe you will write an experience of your experience in quarantine. Then it could be an environmental topic as well. So your experience or your some story associated with the environmental issue. Also, it could be a political issue, or it could be an economical issue as well. Whatever it is, the narrative takes the form of a story. That means there are proper set of sequence of events with proper characters and dialogues to take forward the story. Why stories are very important in our day-to-day life? See, stories are the best way to capture the attention of the audience, keep the audience, hook the audience. Instead of directly telling a point, if you tell in the form of characters, the audience can think on the shoes of the characters, and it is easy way to relate with the people. So these are the basic constituents of a story. So you have a narrative account of or sequence of events. It is based on a concrete theme. Now, how to build upon the story? You have the story set in your mind, and you have a theme also set in your mind. Now, how do you put it forth in paper? Then there comes the importance of plot. What do you mean by plot? Plot is the skeleton on which a story is built around. This represents the sequence of events. Firstly, you start the story somewhere. That is called beginning or exposition part. For example, if I have to take the story of Khalid Hosseini, the novels which Khalid Hosseini wrote, I don't know how many of you have read this stories like Kite Runner or A Mountains Echoed. So these are the famous novels by Khalid Hosseini. Always there is a beginning. It starts off with the author's background. Some setting is done. Then comes the raising action. The raising action in the sense, what are the problems the author or the protagonist is encountering, and when that problem reaches a tipping point, that is called the climax. That's a crux problem comes. So that is a main problem in the story for which a solution has to be found. So you start with the beginning, you have a concrete setting, then give the raising action sequence of events which leads up to a climax or a problem. Then how to resolve it? That takes the form of a falling action. So in Khalid Hosseini's novel, the raising actions will be he goes through his background, he uh, introduces the protagonist faces a problem, then the protagonist solves the problem, comes out of this problem, all that is solved in the falling action, and finally there is the climax or the resolution. So in almost all stories follow this plot structure: problem and a solution. So this is all about the plot in a story. So this forms one of the very core part craft of creative writing. Now, a story is set somewhere. There's a proper setting to a story, proper surrounding to a story. The story could be set in a desert, it could be an island, it could also be a small room, or it could be a space. So we need to identify where our story is set. What is with the setting comes the background of the protagonist. There are many stories like Khalid Hosseini's novels. This is set in Afghanistan, the war-torn Afghanistan. Sudha Murthy's lot of stories, they are set in villages. Common man's living, that is village, the story is set. Then if you take a lot of science fictions, there are many set in space. So it's up to the author to determine a setting. I've seen many creative writers as well as movie makers who have set scene underwater. I think one famous movie by name Aquaman is set underwater. So it's up to you as an author to give a proper setting to your story. Now, having talked about setting, next most important part, how to drive your story forward. You need characters and their accompanying dialogues. So what do you know? What do you mean by characters? Characters, one is all story, if you see, have a protagonist, that is a the main hero, an antagonist, a villain, and the supporting characters. Why do we have characters? When you have the characters, the author need not describe the lines line by line. He need not describe the story. With the dialogues of the character, the story is taken forward. So this brings in more visual effect to the story. Visual imagery is created and the story is taken forward. And it's also a forte of a good writer to bring in very good dialogues and dialogue tags. So what do you mean by all these dialogue tags? For example, if a protagonist, Sita, she's feeling sad. So the author writes the dialogue as, I can't take this anymore. Then the dialogue tag is, so said Sita, throwing the book down on the desk. So the author is not directly telling that Sita is feeling sad. He says that what Sita said and what action she did. So that forms the dialogue tag. So dialogue tags are very creative ways of expressing what the characters feel and the way the characters act. So once you determine your characters and once you determine their dialogues, then comes the description. When you set each and every scene in a story, you need to describe the scene. How do you describe the scene? Here comes the importance of showing and not telling. It means that if you tell that Sita is beautiful, you just don't have to tell it that Sita is beautiful. You have to show it using the 5 senses. So you can say, Sita had a round face with blonde hair and her eyebrows were so thin that we could see the eyelashes tickling. So the creative way when you explain, the readers should get to know that you are telling that Sita is beautiful. So that's again the forte of a very good writer, to describe and take along the audience, show what he wants to tell rather than telling. Now, most important, another important craft of creative writing is narration. How the author narrates the sequence of events. There are three ways of narration, that is in first person, second person, and third person. First person narrative, the author himself will be describing the story. He's a part of the story. He'll be using words like I, me, mine throughout the story. Mostly autobiographies are a form of first person narrative. And also, if you've read books, a book like Catcher in the Rye, so that is a first person narrative. Then coming to second person narrative, usually blogs take the form of second person narrative. When and self-help books also take the form of second person narrative. It could be a combination of first person as well as second person narrative, where the author directly addressing the audience whom he's sharing some tip with. So he uses words like you, yours, yourself. Then the most common form of narrative that we find is the third person narrative, where the author is not involved in the story. He sees the story from a third person angle, and he takes the readers in the mind of the characters and describes they, them, or just by the name of the character. He says Sita was feeling so and so, but he's describing from the perspective of Sita. To give some examples, famous stories like Alice in the Wonderland, it's written from a third person narrative. Lewis Carroll described it from the perspective of Alice. So this is all about the narration. So it's up to you how well you want to be connected to the readers. You can adopt your comfortable form of narration. Now, structuring is very important part of any form of writing, be it creative writing or be it content writing. You always need to have a very good and catchy opening. See, there are many people who start with a question. There are many people who start by giving an incident. There are also writers who bring you directly to the scene, action, where the story is happening. He directly gets you into the action, or he even starts off with some dialogues to create intrigue, create suspense. So it's up to you as a creative writer. You have full freedom to structure. You start off with your opening. Now comes the body. Usually stories and then novels, the body part takes the form of indented paragraphs, well structured paragraphs in stories. And in novels, if you see, if you want to transition to a next scene, it's either a next chapter, or you make use of different words, different words which represent time, and then you transition to the next scene. Then coming to the conclusion, it's usually summary filled in a story, or it's with a message, or you link back to the opening to have a commensurate opening and conclusion. Now, coming to another catchy element of the creative writing is creating drama and suspense. Be it any writing, or be it movies, or be it any serial, drama and suspense is the best way to create intrigue and bring the unexpected and keep the audience in tender hooks. If you just narrate a story without any drama and suspense, it's like you are just methodically or rhetorically just telling something and finishing it off. When you create some drama and suspense, you can always have the readers with you. For example, if I have to give some good examples of drama and suspense, I'm currently reading a book written by Amish Tripathi, that is the Immortals of Meluha, that is Shiva series. Every point is filled with suspense. So it's about a mythological Shiva and how he becomes a great man, how he becomes the savior of a nation called Meluha, When he goes to that region, he discovers so many secrets that he was called upon into one kingdom as a savior. Then he realizes that whom he is supposed to fight against, he is also the savior of that kingdom. So Amish Tripathi has clearly created suspense and drama which spans across 3 books. His novel comes in 3 books. So these are some of the ways how you can hook the audience. Now comes another important and relatable part of creative writing, the emotions. All of us being human beings are emotional. We express emotions of happiness, sadness, anger. So it forms the heart of any story. Every character goes through all these emotions of happiness, sadness. So as an author, how do you express these emotions in the characters? One part I already explained through the dialogues and use of dialogue tags. Second is using the description and narrative. And when you express the emotions, the audience feels part of the story. They can see themselves on the shoes of the character and they feel so connected with the character. So one best example I can say is Harry Potter. When I was reading Harry Potter way back in 8th standard, I used to very well connect with Harry. The way J.K. Rowling used the description of Harry Potter, the emotions that he went through, when Harry felt that scar, breathing in him, even I could feel that. Even in my dreams, I could feel that. So it's the forte of a very good author or writer to bring in the emotions in the readers. So what is writing without the proper writing devices? Writing devices like similes, metaphors are used to decorate your writing. Like instead of just saying he is very soft, you can say he is as soft as a snow. So that is direct comparison. When you directly compare something, so it is a simile. Then coming to metaphor, metaphors are indirect comparisons. Like love is a battlefield. So you're saying that love is a tough phase. Instead of just saying that love is like a tough phase in one's life, you say that love is a battlefield. So indirectly you're comparing. Then comes to a term like omnipotentia. That is something like there are some words which sound like sounds. There's some words which are like sound like. When you have to express some sound words like clatter, the the glass shattered, or I'm not getting that exact word. Yeah, anklet. The anklets clankled. So there's some words which really represents the sound words. Then there is something called hyperbole. Hyperbole is some statement that which is very exaggerated. So that again creates intrigue in the audience. That brings in the fun element in your writing also. So if you say that I'm so hungry that I can even eat a goat. So no, we can't eat a goat, but it's just exaggerating and also brings in some sort of humor in between. Then also, how do you create imagery? Imagery is very important part of the important writing device. Like for example, you want to describe your room and you create an imagery of a garden. Describe your room as a garden and different uh, objects in your room as plants, as trees. Create that visual imagery. That's again up to the imagination and creativity of the writer. Now, language and vocabulary matters a lot when you are doing creative writing. Make sure that you bring in clear and lucid language and appropriate vocabulary. So there is always a misconception that you should have a very hi-fi vocabulary. No, only you should bring in appropriate vocabulary which is easily understandable by the audience. If best example what I found in Sudha Murthy's writing, her writing is not very vocabulary laden and neither is it very simple. It's very appropriate and to the point that even a simple common man can understand and have a takeaway message. So make sure your language is clear and lucid, simple, to the point, so that you can convey the message. And if you get time, do read Sudha Murthy's novels, the best example of good language and vocabulary. Now, grammar and punctuation is as important as other crafts of writing. It forms a salt and pepper of a write-up. So this makes your writing more understandable. So imagine you don't have proper grammar and punctuation, even the meaning what you're conveying goes wrong. So you can even confuse your readers. So make sure once you have written your work, you read and reread your work and edit your work, and then only you publish it, so that you can avoid the basic grammar and punctuation errors. Then lastly, you have a takeaway message from your writing or story. So different people have different purposes of writing or reading a story. You either want to create inspiration, you want to create awareness of a social issue, or you want to tell about your travel writing. It's an experience you're sharing, or just an aesthetics. You want to share about a story about a nice garden. So if there are different purposes of reading and writing a story, it's well and good if you have a takeaway message. Even sometimes you don't have a takeaway message, no issues, but you can just share your experience. So that's it from my part. Hope I have conveyed my message in this short span of time. Now, if you all have any questions, any queries, feel free to ask. I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge.
Thank you. Now we request people to have questions. So, yes, at first, I have a question for you, Devi.
Yes, Rahul. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Devi, if you mentioned that in showing you have to show.
Yes.
In Toastmasters, we do the same. Like while giving recommendation, don't tell
Yes.
your voice
Yes.
low. It should be higher. So how we can give? Can you give one more solid example from Toastmasters journey view or Toastmasters? How we can show and not tell?
Yes, I'll tell you. It's a very valid question, Rahul. Thanks you raised this. For example, from a Toastmaster perspective, if you have to see, suppose I take the eye contact, or I just take structuring of the speech. For example, if a speaker has delivered a speech and he had all the content, but it was not well structured. So if I was the evaluator, I would say that, for example, I am evaluating you, Rahul. So I'll say Toastmaster Rahul delivered a wonderful speech with a very good content which everyone could relate to. He had very good statistics. It was really had a very good takeaway message for all of us. But Rahul, just going ahead, maybe we can work on the placement of the content here and there. You can just do a small adjustment of your content. Probably the delivery would be more attractive. Maybe we'll have more, the flow of the story will be more smooth. You have no matter done a wonderful job by bringing forth the content and bringing in the statistics. Just make a small rearrangement of this content. I'm sure your speech will come out very well.
Thank you. So we request everyone to have questions. You can unmute
I think,
and ask.
yeah, two participants, I think, raised hands.
Yeah. You can unmute yourself or you can let me know.
Yeah, you can unmute, or I think Amit raised his hand, and even Chanda has raised her hand.
Yes,
I think Chanda raised first, I guess.
Amit, now you can ask question.
Yeah, Amit, you can ask them.
Hi, David. Thank you for sharing wonderful information and the way you suggested how we have to write. That was phenomenal. But one thing I want to ask, that while we start writing, like I am going to start now, so which area I should start? Like whether I should write the thoughts of myself, or whether I should write about the stories, or in which area we should start.
Yeah.
And one more question, that while we are writing, or so it happened that while I am writing, so it's comes a very long sentences like Mahatma Gandhi. I heard that Mahatma Gandhi is writing one page in one sentence, with one sentence. I'm not sure
Right.
whether it is right or wrong, but I heard about that. So
Right,
how
right.
I think if we have to connect with the people, so we should create small sentences. So what you suggest for that?
Yeah. Thank you, Amit, for these questions. Coming to your first question, what should you start off with? So I always suggest everybody, if you are starting off with writing, start off small. Start experimenting with one-liners or quotes. Take any theme you see around, anything that inspires you. Daily, just write 1 or 2 lines. Just 1 or 2 lines. Focus more on forming the sentence. Like your second question was on how can I cut down the sentence? It becomes very wordy. Read the sentence what you have written and see the words which are not appropriate. See if 2 words can be combined into one. See if you can paraphrase that sentence by combining two words or phrase one. If the phrase is of 3 words, if you can combine it into one, circle those phrases which doesn't make much sense and find an alternative word for it. You can use the dictionary, or you can just check online for alternative word of it and try to replace it. I think going ahead, starting it will be a good exercise. Slowly, when you go ahead with this practice, automatically these things will be registered in your mind, and your mind, it's already there, and you start forming a small sentence. Initially, start replacing the phrases, redundant phrases, with this one word, and going ahead, you'll be habitual to it, and then you can the short sentences.
Thank you. Chanda, you can ask your question.
Hi.
Hi, Chanda.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. My question is that suppose we have everybody they have their own experience and story of life.
Yeah.
So as you said that there should be initial part, then body, and then conclusion, right?
Yeah.
So, but my confusion is that suppose how we take experience, any kind of experience in the starting, then body, and then conclusion. When I start any story, then I always mixed up with the starting and body, and
Yes.
and conclusion is like then conclusion is easy, but starting and body always get mixed up with
Yes.
from my side. So how a person can decide whether it's 100 words or whether it's a 700 words, or whether it can be a novel? So I just want to know how a person should portray their story.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is.
Thank you, Chanda. Even when I started writing, I had the same confusion. So I'll tell you how you can go about with writing your story.
Yes.
Suppose you have lot of stories to tell.
Yes.
Initially, you can pick one story.
Okay.
So suppose you had to overcome some challenge.
Yes.
Okay, pick that story and start it off in the beginning, just by saying that once upon a time I was a shy girl, or once upon a time I was a girl who had a lot of confusions, or directly bring yourself into the scene with some characters. Suppose you had some conversation with your mom or your dad or people who inspired you. Just tell that line. Suppose somebody had inspired you, say, just start off, Chanda, you are a brave girl, don't give up. Then you are replying that, yes, I will try my level best. Then again, that person says that you can do it, believe in yourself. Then this forms your introduction. Then come to the body of the story and say, that was me 10 years back, underconfident. I need somebody to push me. Then start narrating your story, that where all you faced the lows, what you went through. Then in the end, again say, you can connect with your introductory dialogues. Now nobody has to say, Chanda, you can do it. Now I get self-motivation. And then end it. Okay?
Yep.
We
Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, that is really.
we have Bhanu. He has a question. Yes, yes, Bhanu.
Yes, Banu, go ahead.
Hi, Devi.
Hi, Banu.
Thanks a lot for such an amazing initiative. It was a very
Thank
wonderful
you.
to learn. My
Thank
question
you.
is about, because it sounds similar to what we prepare in our Toastmaster speeches as well, when
Right.
we tell our mainly in ISC contest, when we try
Mm-hmm.
to tell some stories about our own lives, which is preferable, and we try to put it in a kind of with a message. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I have participated in that ISC contest, and what I struggled with, how, like, I had a message, but how to correlate with my stories, personal stories, and then I was kind of struggling for words, because still I'm not that creative in writing, so I just go with the simple words, and maybe which failed to impress the judges or whatever. So my aim is that how we can improve that more.
How to bring in more message to your story?
Yeah, so
How to? Huh.
I think to become more to the point and keep audience engaged. Like if you go with a simple story without anything, then it becomes kind of very
Correct.
predictable, and people
Correct.
know, yeah,
Correct.
this will happen, this will happen, this will happen.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I got your question, Banu. Let me answer this. Like your question mostly pertains to how to bring in more suspense and more drama, and not just go with the simple narrative.
Yes.
Yeah, suppose you are telling your story. So you start off with your struggles. Mm, then in between, you want to bring some drama element, how you overcame. Try to introduce one surprise character. So you would have introduced your parents, or you would have introduced your close friend. Try to introduce your ex-girlfriend. Imagine you just take her advice. Usually we tend to ignore the ex-girlfriend's advice or whatever. So try to introduce a surprise element. So bringing in a surprise element will get in more suspense and drama. So that is
Okay.
one thing what I suggest. Next time when you try out writing your speeches, bring a surprise character or a surprise element in the story.
Okay.
That should act as a surprise, not just for the audience, even for the judges.
Mm-hmm.
So starting, go through with the normal narrative that your parents said this, your friends said this, but then you put a line, just put a line. Then nothing worked.
Mm.
My ex-girlfriend's advice worked.
Okay.
Just put one catchy line and then
Okay.
bring that surprise element.
Okay. And
I
on
hope,
the, yeah,
yeah.
when you tell stories, so normal pattern is like you start with once upon a time I was
Ha, ha, ha.
at this age, but in speeches we have to do some kind of catchy opening. So now
Right,
normally
right.
we try to do some kind of action or something,
Ha, ha, ha.
and then we go to the speech. So maybe a short story and something like that. So that is also another point which I want to get your guidance on, that how to get the keep that message opening catchy, and then which can flow smoothly into the story part.
Right. If you want to make your
Hmm.
opening more catchy, instead of just saying the simple once upon a time so and so happened, show an incident. Bring the readers in between a conversation. Suppose you are having a heated argument, or suppose you are having a very good emotional conversation, or bring the readers in between an incident, a very intriguing incident. Just create a tension that he was walking in the tunnel, nothing was happening, he couldn't see light, but suddenly a rabbit came to his rescue. Bring in one surprise element.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay, just bring in a starting, also bring in a surprise element.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I hope you got my point.
Yeah. 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 I got it.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have now 4 hands now. I request Toastmaster Param and yeah, Param.
Yeah.
Hi, Devi. Thank you so much for this
Hi,
amazing
Param.
session.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
and thanks, Rahul, for this great initiative. That's really insightful and really helping us as a writer, as a speaker, both. My question to Devi is:
Yeah.
there is a problem when we do a transition from like introduction to conclusion to body to conclusion. How to smooth and hone our transition when we are writing in terms of our
Mhm.
writing also and in our speech also,
Right, right,
how
right.
how is a smooth transition can help us, like
Yes.
what is the
Mhm.
right tip for that?
Yeah. Coming to your question, Param, how to make smooth transitions. So, one simple way to do a transition is starting of the next paragraph with a transition word. There are some words which act as transition words, like you start off the next paragraph with in short.
Okay.
Like if you want to say for the first time, firstly, secondly, thirdly, or you use words like incidentally, comparatively. For example, one paragraph you are talking about, there are two characters in the story. You are talking about the life incident of one character. Suppose he is a good protagonist and everything goes well in his life. You describe his character. Then next paragraph, you talk about the next character. He is an antagonist. Then you say comparative. First you say in the life of Ram so and so happened. Then in the next paragraph you say comparatively in the life of Rahim things didn't go on well. He was not as good as his parents expected. So there are these transition words which you can look up and use in the paragraphs. Number one is that way. Number two, if you want to make a scene transition, in writing specifically, we use, uh, uh, I'm losing track of that word, what you use for that. You put, if Rahul can help me out with that, you put that dashes in between, right? Dashes and
Yes.
dots in between.
Yes.
Yes. That is dashes and dots you use and transition to a next scene. So I'll make it more clear for Param. Suppose you have described a story in the present, in the past scenario. Okay, the
Right.
story ends there. Then you put a dash and then you go to the next scene and say 10 years later. And then you start
Okay.
off with the story. Okay, so this is a second way of starting the transition.
Thank you. Next, we have, yes, Param, any other question?
Just a very small question again, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Whenever we are giving any interviews or
Yes,
whenever we
yes.
are introducing ourselves,
Mhm.
there is also a transition required. So for that, what you suggest, like at that point of time, like my name is Paramjot Singh. Okay, I have been working with this company for so and so, and after that,
Mhm.
how we should make our transition when it comes
Yeah.
to giving an introduction. Like
Yes.
this is what you've told, that's really relevant for a speech or for a paragraph or a essay. But when
Mhm.
we are giving a introduction, what is a smooth transition we should have?
Yes. For interview specifically, you can use a chronological approach. First, you start off with your name, family background, then go chronologically how you have completed your education. Start with your schooling, that comes one para, then start with your high school, then your present job. Okay, if you are not having a job, okay, you have completed graduation and so forth. So use a chronological approach. Always in this interview, chronological approach will be an easy way for the interviewer also to understand you. So I suggest you go with the chronological approach.
Chronology is very important these days,
Yes,
actually.
very important. That also keeps your thoughts structured. When you are answering also, it's easy for you to remember, recollect, and then give the interview.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Devi. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Param.
Next, we have Toastmaster Sajal Jain.
Yeah, Sajal.
Hi, Devi.
Hi, Sajal.
Thank you for such an amazing session.
Thank you.
So my doubt is regarding narration. Like
Yes.
you said, like mostly for personal experiences, we use it in first person. Even
Yes.
in Toastmasters, it is said that to make an impact, we should use personal experiences.
Yes.
But most of the novels, most of the fictional novels usually are written in third person. So, like, my question is that what should be like, even if I'm reading a book, sometimes I get confused if the author is a character in the book or if the author is outside the book and he is just
Right,
mentioning
right.
characters.
Right.
So my doubt is like, what should I try? Like, if I want to make more impact in a story, like, what should I go for? The first
Right,
person
right.
or the third person?
Right. See, Sajal, I suggest if you are sharing your own story, your own experiences, it's best you take first person approach. Who well than yourself who can share the story? Then you write from, if it's your story, your personal narrative will create more impact. You can more relate to the story. But if you want to share some fictional story, or if you want to share other person's experience, it's better you go from a third person narrative. With third person narrative, there's more freedom and flexibility to describe and explain as well. So I suggest, if it's your story, go for a first person narrative. If it is a, if it's a story which you have heard or somebody else's story you want to give, go for a third person narrative.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sajal. Thank you.
Next, we have Toastmaster Tajinder. Toastmaster Tajinder, yes, please.
Hello, Devi.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Excellent speech, and in fact, I would like to ask two questions.
Yes, sir.
First question is, even whenever we try to write, in between we forget, or in between we miss the character, and we come out, and some mess happening, and we could not complete it. So first time I heard from you that how is the structure, and it is the best way, like it will start from introduction, and then you can make your structure, and at last your message should be clear. But what is my problem, that how we can see that which stage we are and how to go ahead. Sometimes it is very means I am feeling uncomfortable to complete this my small story, whatever I would like to write. So can you help me out first?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah.
So for this, what best works is brainstorming of your ideas. So before you even start writing your stories, brainstorm your ideas, sir. In a small book, or if you are a person who likes to use digital devices, in a Word file, write down the introduction, what points you are going to include in introduction. In the body part, what points you are going to put. In the conclusion, what points. First, prioritize and finalize on these points, and then only start off writing. Introduction, suppose you want to say one incident and start, then in the body part, many other incidents, and in conclusion, you want to give a message. Write it down, what exactly you are going to write. For example, introduction, Tajinder sir as a young person. In the body, Tajinder sir's work life, Tajinder sir's married life, or whatever comes, write it. And in the end, what life has given you, what experiences you have told in the body part, just summarize it.
You mean to say before writing I should write?
Yes, write it down. Write it down in a piece of paper.
Yeah. So I should note down everything and then come to the final.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Second thing, ma'am, you told this for vocabulary, one Sudha Murthy or something like you told. So what was the exact name, ma'am?
The author's name is Sudha Murthy. She's the wife of Narayan Murthy.
Okay.
And she writes very good short stories. Lot of short stories are released, and you can find them on Amazon. Yeah. One of the best book what I have read about her is Bend It Gently Falls the Bakula. I suggest everyone please read this book. It's one book which has really touched my heart.
Okay, ma'am, please message me afterward because I am very much interested.
Okay, thank you,
sure,
sir.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Three more questions, and next is from Divya Agarwal. Please, Divya.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Divya.
Hi. Thank you, Devi, for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Yeah, it covered all the parts. What points we should cover when we are writing blog for non-profit organization?
Okay, what points we need to cover when we are writing a blog for non-profit organization? Right. It can be structured into many parts. The blogs could be on the work what they do. It could be on on their website about their content, like about the funness, the work that they do, then the area of their outreach. I think more Rahul can also add. I think he has worked a bit with the NGOs. If he has the practical experience, I think it is better to take his opinion, Rahul's opinion on this.
Yeah. So yes. So can you be very specific, Divya?
Yes, Rahul. Currently, I am connected with the Body Tree Foundation. TM Mansi introduced me and connected with Deepak Nanda sir, and he's Kamal sir's friend who is available in this meeting. So, currently we are in a process of writing, of restructuring his website, and we are pointing on the content as well. So, I want a little overview from your side what we should cover in that blogs, which we will post on our website of Bodhiti Foundation.
At first, we should be very clear what is our purpose. Based on that, we will be choosing the words. What is our intent? Based on intent, we will choose our words. And we will, as we are Toastmasters, we can do the research as well. What if research is needed? Like the topic is motivating people. The topic is meditation. And my target audience or people are adults. So I will be talking about their lifestyles. They're using social media the most. I can use a catchy line. You will die in just 20 days. Not due to this coronavirus, but due to your habit. This line will start and we will go follow. How? In different steps, we will decode and we will come back to the first line. How? We can give the solution. Again, in our blogging, we can use the creative writing. Give the problem, talk about it, climax, and solution. What is the resolution? And we will conclude. Because no one will read. We have just a attention span of just 4 to 5 seconds. They will read one line, it is catchy, they will go ahead. I hope I have answered your question, and we will discuss it offline because we are already overshoot the time.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you, Rahul. Thank you for this all writers club initiative.
Next question is from Rajiv sir. Yes.
Sir, you're on mute mode, sir. Rajiv sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, am I clear now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The first thing what I missed on that speech was how should we find the title of the speech, of the story, because that's very important. The title, no, that thing was missed. That thing.
Yeah.
Second thing was that how to limit the characters, because the more the characters, the more confusion. Third thing, when you structure it, you use mind mapping. That's a very good technique which we used many times to write stories. Fourth, how to overcome the writer's block. That's the biggest, that you keep on writing, then suddenly when you miss the time.
Yeah.
So, shall I come one by one? First thing is title.
We'll take one, sir. We'll take one. Rest we will discuss offline.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. No problem. In title.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is, sir, title. Don't give the title before you start a story. First, write down the story.
Exactly.
Yeah. And title. One way you can give the title is it should be something related to the main character. One, it can be related to the main character. One, it can be related to the main theme. And thirdly, it could also be related to the main problem in the story. The climax, what I talked about, it could be related to the main problem as well.
Okay, fine.
These are 3 techniques what you can apply to come out with the title, and always come out with the title at the end after you have written the story.
Exactly. That's right. That brings out things, very clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will add
how
on.
To just one question there, please. How to overcome the writer's block? This was this is the biggest problem for me, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing what I suggest is, sir, to run out of, if you run out of all these ideas, and to avoid that, keep a repository of ideas for at least 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Brainstorm some stories and keep it for 2 to 3 months, so you can get stories. One thing is by observing more of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So you go out even for a walk or go out, spend time with your friends. Try to get some stories from the smallest of things, like even conversations.
Yeah.
Or you watch some movies, offshoot of that, some ideas you get, note it down. Whatever idea you get, note it down and keep a repository ready for 2 to 3 months.
Yes. Okay.
So that when it is exhausting in the last 1 month, come out with new ideas, brainstorm it and keep.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Last question from Toastmaster Division Director, Toastmaster Smita Narayan.
Yeah, hi Devi. I
Hi,
write
ma'am. Hi.
stories for elderly people overseas that are living alone, the single old people, and that's defined as 75 years and above.
Right.
Now, I wanted to ask you, do you have any tips of characters and plots? Because, I'm running out of ideas. I've been doing it for 6 years, but beyond a point, it's the same readers, and
Right.
it's a column in a paper that they, kind of subscribe to.
Right.
I am absolutely so I don't know if you know anyone, or if you've read anything, because I've not been reading. It's only now that I've started reading. I've always been writing, but not reading. So if you can help me there, any tips for the elderly? What kind of characters or plots or anything, any tips? And it's okay if you don't want to answer now. In the interest of time, we can always take it offline.
Right. Ma'am, this one I'll get back to you, ma'am. I'll do some research on this and then I'll get back to you regarding this.
Okay. Or if you can just guide me to people that I need to read a little to get spark more ideas. I'm running because I'm not now dealing with elderly people. I'm dealing with Toastmasters and, my consulting clients, and they're not elderly any longer. So since I've not been dealing with elderly people, I'm getting a bottle thing, writer's block or whatever.
Ma'am, right now, like what kind of stories do you read? Like what you have started off with?
I've not been reading at all. I'm just going from one Toastmaster meeting to another. And I've just started reading right now. So there is not a book that I've left unread. I used to spend hours at Waterstones or at Barnes & Noble or over here, having stayed overseas for many years. But for the last 6-7 years that I'm here, I'm out of touch with the elderly people that I write for. My community is basically in Europe or in America. So I don't know what else to offer them. I do get sparks when I attend the Toastmasters meeting. And I write daily, by the way. It's a daily paper that I write for. And I get about only 4,000 characters, 4,000 alphabets that I can write, including the spaces. So it's not very huge. But I'll send you some of it and you'll get an idea of the kind of stuff I do.
Right. Maybe if I look into it, I can help you out.
Yeah, so I've run out of characters and plots, and this was amazing. I'm going to get you to repeat it for my entire division. I know there's 6 people from my division on this call right now, but I need you to repeat this. So I'm so sorry. I'm going to bother you again.
No problem. My pleasure.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
The renowned authors, including Karan Bajaj, he would say, write 400 words daily, only 400 words daily. In 3 to 4 months, you have a book ready. And you don't need to leave your current job. You do not need to do anything, just 400 words. 10, you fix your time, maybe 10 to 11, 10 to 10:30, fix your time and do it. So with that, I'm really very thankful to Toastmaster Devi for helping us understanding the nuances of creative writing, explaining in detail.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine, Rahul. And also, if any of you want to get in touch with me, I'll just share my details. I'll share the screen.
Yes.
One second. So you can get in touch with me via email or through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I also have my website. You can directly drop in message as well. Thank you all for being patient, audience, and being so creative in asking questions as well. So it was my pleasure answering you all. So thank you, Rahul, for giving me this opportunity to conduct the session. Hopefully we'll see more and more sessions, and hopefully all of you can join us again.
Yes. So
Thank you so much.
yes. So thank you, Devi, and thank you, everyone. This was the first master class of Write With Us campaign by Phoenix Toastmasters Club. Next master classes will be on one subject, like narration, point of view, how to write dialogues. They will come again. We will be informing you on our through our social media sites of Phoenix Toastmasters Club. We have a particular group, Write With Us campaign, where we empower, we help you to become a good writer, and we help you to work on your short story, your stories, and we help you to publish your work with your pen name without single penny. Everything free of cost. We have a team of published authors in our group, and they will be helping us, guiding us throughout. All you need, come write for 15 minutes a day only. If you don't write, we will motivate you, push you, drag you out from your homes. Right. So if you have any questions, any query, you have the contact details of Devi. If you don't have, go to Phoenix Toastmasters Club. You ping me and I will share the details with you. And we will be coming back and we will have writing session on Friday, where we will be writing here for 10 minutes and we will be reading our writings based on the prompt we are given. If you are excited, if you are willing to write, please do join us. And also Devi's book has been released, 3 hours. Go to Amazon, buy that book, read her story, go to her blogs, read. She's an amazing Toastmaster, amazing author, amazing human. Thank you, Devi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Bye.
Rahul. Thank you, Devi.
You can put your views on, have a thumbs up or smile. I can take a picture and I will put on that social media. Please. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
See you on Friday, and the people who are on the group, I will be giving you homework, writing work today, and please do it for 15 minutes, and I will push you to share your view. If you have any question, any query, please ping on our social media site or ping us on my personal window. Thank you. Stay connected, keep writing, keep in the world with your creativity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.